A very warm greeting to all. I'm Dr. Nayantara, School of Business, RV University, the host for the event. We are at the commencement of the valedictory function of the annual International Research Conference 2024 on sustaining business growth, use of emerging technologies. At this moment of achievement and happiness, we are glad for the presence of the dignitaries on the dais. I feel very privileged to extend a very hearty welcome to Dr. D.K. Subramanian, Dean and Professor Retired, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. I request Professor Arun Kumar, Associate Dean, School of Business, RV University, to present a bouquet to our guest of honor. Now I welcome Dr. Shubhashri Natarajan, Dean, SOB, RV University, Dr. Diganta Chakrabarti, Dean Academics, RV University, Deans of other schools, RV University, they are present here. All the faculty members, staff, and students to the event. May I also welcome our Dean, Shubhashri Natarajan. At the outset, let me walk you all through the brief report on our two-day research conference proceedings. On the first day, that is yesterday on 18th April 2024, we had Professor Dr. N.R. Bhanumurthy, Vice Chancellor Dr. B.R. Ambedkar School of Economics University, Bengaluru, as the keynote speaker for the inaugural ceremony. We had Professor Dr. Gopal Varadarajan, IIM Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu, as the session chair. We had three sessions of research paper presentations under the track 1, Accounting, Finance and Economics. On the second day, that's today, before and afternoon, Dr. Ankit Katrodia, Associate Professor, Northwest University, Mahikeng Campus, North Africa, chairs the sessions under the track 2, that is Marketing, Entrepreneurship and HR and OD. In the post-lunch period, Dr. R. Venkatesh Kumar, Professor, Operations and Supply Chain Management, Pondicherry University, chaired the session under the track 3, Analytics, Information Management, Strategy and others. Now let me introduce our guest of honor, Chief Guest Dr. D.K. Subramanian. I feel privileged to present his profile in brief. Dr. D.K. Subramanian did BE at Madras University in 1964, ME at Indian Institute of Science in 1967, and PhD at IISc 1971. Dr. D.K. Subramanian spent more than 40 years as a faculty at the Indian Institute of Science and retired as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Automation and Center for Ecological Sciences in 2004. He held various positions at IISc like Dean of Engineering, Chairman of Campus Development, Chairman of several committees such as Power Committee, Amenities Committee, Central Evaluation Committee, so on and so forth, and Coordinator of Extension Lecture Programs, Coordinator of Proficiencies, etc., in addition to his academic duties. He was a distinguished fellow at IBRBT, an institution of RBI until 2022. He was also a member of Research and Innovation Advisory Board of TCS till 2023. He was an advisor to many banks, industries, government departments, startups, colleges, and universities. He has guided a large number of students for PhD, MSc Engineering, and ME programs, and developed a large number of new courses and taught most of the computer science courses at the evolving stage without textbooks. He has more than 200 publications in operating system, databases, distributed systems, data mining, and others, transactions, processing, optimization, large-scale systems like energy, water, ecological systems. After retirement, he and a few industry leaders started a non-profit registered trust called the Foundation for Advancement of Education and Research. It's called as FAER, F-A-E-R, with the objective of improving the quality of education. He was a national mentor for NITs and TEQIP, that is Technical Education Quality Improvement Programs, in many colleges in Karnataka, the World Bank funded programs. He was a consulting advisor to TCS Limited. He is also director of Integra Microsystems Limited. As an advisor for several Indian banks such as Corporation Bank, PNB, Syndicate Bank, Vijaya Bank, and others, he has been responsible for the fast implementation of centralized branch automation, that is core banking, and selection of computer systems for smooth transition and trouble-free operations. He has developed a model for taking computer-based transactions to rural applications like agricultural produce marketing, financial inclusion of rural population, self-help groups, cooperatives like milk purchase and distribution, silk weaving, etc. for several years. Professor D.K. Subramanian has assisted the government of Karnataka for the past 20 years in its e-governance programs in several departments. He conceptualized the Mahiti Sindhu program of computerization for 1,000 high schools in the state. He has visited and lectured in more than 300 institutions in India and abroad and is associated with several educational institutions. He was a visiting faculty at IIM Bangalore, University of Manchester, Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, Power Systems Training Institute, several other universities and institutions. He was a professor at IIT Bombay during 1978 and 79, and Additional Secretary, Department of Ecology and Environment and Science and Technology, Government of Karnataka during 1981 and 82. He has conducted several international and national conferences and delivered keynote addresses in many international conferences. Dear all, this is only a shortened version of the profile. We would need more time if we were to consult all his accomplishments and the contributions. However, may I request Professor Arun Kumar to felicitate our guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Subramanian. May I now request our guest of honor, Dr. D.K. Subramanian, to offer the valedictory address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, thanks a lot. I prepared a talk and sent the ticket to yes. Yeah.
Wanted to be free.
That's what I was telling. I said that I prepared. Then I had a feeling it looked right. I thought, whether how much people will appreciate it or how much they will like it, how much they will hate it, I don't know. So I decided instead I will just give a talk and maybe tell one or two stories. Basically, I want to tell you the path I have taken for 40 years. I think where the business more than 40 years. Let's say that's 1975 onwards. The kind of relationships between business and industry, and technology. So that's what I thought I would do that. See, the early days, technology was very easy, came very slowly. So what happened when the electricity came? What the business did was it used the electricity, but it never bothered about electricity. Electricity was not a concern of the jobs. Then came the, let's say, the early computing or electronics or calculators, etc. Yes, you use them as tools. Again, I don't think it was pretty important at that point in time. But momentarily, I think we got into the software era. Things changed a lot. Okay. So what really happened was, this is something very, very, what I would call a serendipity decision. when the computers were used in business, IBM started doing what is called the services business. IBM never sold a computer. IBM wrote the payroll program. IBM wrote the purchase stores and purchase program and so on. They identified about 10 to 20 companies in the US and they supplied the computer to them and they ran the program. And all this is on hire basis. Nothing is ownership based. So that is what later on was called the services business, IT services business, which has made this country quite famous. We are the leaders in IT services today. And this happened in mid 60s. This was happening in mid 60s. So what Tata's did was, Tata's were one of the first to get into computers. I'm not going to get into manufacturing side because then it will become a very long picture. So I won't get into manufacturing hardware and database development, operating system development, etc. But only business side. So you can call it as a such serendipity. The Tata's, actually I was also doing some work in the power networks. So designing the networks, I was doing it. Tata's also built the software for it. And they did sell the software. They felt if I sell the software, it's a nuisance. I have to maintain it and the guys will keep coming every day saying this is not working, that is not working, this is to be changed, that is to be changed. They built what is known as a managed services model. One of the good business models Tata did at that time was this managed services model. So when TCS and Kohli was involved in that, so when TCS started, actually TCS, a lot of people like Wipro or many of the companies were in the manufacturing business or in the hardware business. We have PSI, we have several companies in Bangalore in this. But TCS decided to move towards services, managed services, global managed services, managed solutions model. That was a very, very unique model, which over the years, they built it into a very, very solid model. Today, if you are talking about 6 lakhs people working in a company, okay, definitely it means that, it's a great activity, which means that even in 70s, I should say, TCS used to pay income tax in 7 countries, not only in India, but 7 countries there. So it became a very paying profession. There was demand. A lot of people wanted IT services. Why? This led to a kind of a definition that now IT is inevitable to us. You can't survive in the business. You can't grow the business. You can't scale up the business. You can't give a better performance. You can't reduce the cost if you don't have IT in it. And you can't reach the people. Last, not very least, I should say, is you can't reach the people. You can't give them better response, and a good feedback. So that is the main reason why the business felt that they should also get into IT. And well, I have seen that in England, I have seen it in the US. Most of the banks got into IT in the 70s. Here is not in that important at all, unfortunately. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk next. And the problem was that TCS started running this show. And TCS was a loner at that point in time. When I'm talking about the mid 70s to 85, 83, 84, TCS was the only company which was doing a job. Infosys came only by 83, 84. Okay. And so TCS was in the services, global service model. Why it is global service? Why the businesses like it? Okay, if you really see that, it is simple. Today it looks so simple. Today it looks so easy. Today you feel that yes, this should be the solution. But at that point in time, I should tell you that for more than 20, 25 years, many companies struggled with selling software. Not one or two, I can name 20, 30 companies in India which were producing software and selling it. None of them succeeded, including TCS. It sold an accounting software called EX. After a few years, it got down. And we all know our very famous Munshis and so on. So many accounting software which came in. Okay, same thing happened even with the ERP. Aramco systems in Madras, they came with Aramco Marshall. It didn't succeed. Okay, so the thing was the number of companies, the competitors in software business is very small. Whether it is, take for instance, a database. Oracle is the only company. IBM was there. IBM came with DB2. It died. So competition is not there. So that's the kind of situation which is there. So TCS got into services where it felt that it can reach a larger number of businesses and it can make money. And the second thing is the injecting IT into a business is complicated. First thing is you need a computer, you have to buy a machine, and then every alternate year you will change the model. Like most of us are buying a mobile phone today. Every 3 years you change the mobile phone. So that was happening with the computers. Every 2-3 years you have to change the computer. So that's a nuisance you have to take care of. Two is you have to buy the operating systems, you have to buy the tools, you have to buy a lot of other software and see that they work. Okay, and the next what happened was that the networking, you wanted to connect directly to the people because business now becomes connected business. It is no more a remote business. It's a connected business. You directly talk to your customer. You directly talk to your end user. So, which means I have to have a network. So I have to add on a network into the system. Then came the next story, which is that security. People can cheat. How do I handle that? Data can be wrong. How do I handle that? So I need a security. So a secure envelope needs to be built on that. So it's a very complicated exercise. And much more than that, business does not stand on one process. It keeps changing every day. For instance, if you take banking, banking is not every day a Reserve Bank comes with a circular, which means you have to change your banking software. So you can't buy software and then say goodbye to everybody. It is not going to work that way. So that is the reason why we felt that TCS felt that managed software will have a demand. Managed services will have a demand. So that's what they really did. And the advantage of that was the absorption and adoption of technologies became very fast. When cloud came, most of the industries moved to cloud. Most of the businesses moved to cloud. When the data centers came, everybody moved into data centers. When you talk of today edge computing, everybody is in edge computing, and so on. So that is the kind of thing. So TCS built this model, and they have went on expanding the model. Once upon a time, maybe they were charging $10,000 kind of thing. Now they are talking about $1 million. So that's the kind of expansion of work which was given to them. And that's how I think Infosys came in the 80s. Actually, all the founders of Infosys were with Patni Computer Systems. They were in Bombay. And that was again another manufacturing industry. They were trying to sell computers, they didn't succeed. Okay, and so Narayan Murthy thought that it's a clever idea to come to Bangalore and start this business. So he started, and he also copied mostly the service models. And service models has come to stay. Because what really happened is, which is the company today which does manufacturing? I can list my few fingers. But if you see the companies which do the services model, it's Accenture, it is it is so many companies which are in that business. Okay, it is Cognizant, it is a lot of American and British, Indian, Chinese companies got into that. That is the greatest, what I say is the greatest boost for India. Actually, many of us who used to travel abroad, the 80s, the 70s, 80s, 90s, etc., we were never treated well. You land in Singapore, the fellow asks, do you have $500 with you? Not that he wants that. He wants you don't want to be burden to them. They have to repatriate you, there are cost expenses on that and so on. Same thing happened in most of the places. The immigration used to look at you in a very dirty way. Okay, I'm not joking, this has happened. So it was a bad patch. 30, 40 years, Indians were not recognized anywhere. Yeah, come 1999, Y2K, okay, scare came in, and by 2000, Indians were the only one who can do the job. No other company can do the job. And when all the companies came to Bangalore, okay, you know almost every company which came to Bangalore, which set up the global design centers in Bangalore, they all came because of the manpower, the human power. That's the big advantage which we got this thing. So we got a respect. By 2000 onwards, we got a respect. Today we are recognized as the global leaders in technology absorption, technology injection into business. Because today it is both business and the technology are running together. Business cannot say technology is peripheral. It may give it to somebody else, but definitely needs the attention of the business. Okay, that was one of the biggest problems which comes. And I'll talk about it a little later. The next thing I want to talk about is the changes which have been taking place in banking and finance. It's a fairly remarkable change which is taking place in banking and finance. It's I would like to tell you that 73 year marked the year 73. I was in Manchester, and I went and opened an account in a branch. I never visited a branch. I can withdraw cash from any other branch. I can get account statement. I can get everything I want from anywhere. So that the connectivity has come into the banks. And 87, I was in Bangkok. And surprising thing was, story is the same. Even in 99, 98, the story is different from in India. You have to go to your branch only. You can't go anywhere else. There was no connectivity, there was no computer, there was nothing. We were having a lot of hiccup with the banks. Till 2000, banks did not know tech. They know technology, but it is pretty bad. Initially, the banks used computers for typing. That's all what they did for several years till somewhere around 90, early 90s. And the Rangarajan committee decided to do branch automation. I call that the blunder of Rangarajan committee. He didn't realize that people don't want to go to a branch. People want service from a bank, not a branch. So branch automation, I was involved with three banks in setting up the branch automation. And Infosys was one of the suppliers. We put up two of them in Parliament Street, Delhi. And the expenses are phenomenal. For a branch, I can't spend 50 lakhs to 1 crore. That's what we spent. Okay, and that was a tragedy, and it didn't work. And ECIL produced a bank automation software, which was installed by Indian Bank and a couple of other banks. Okay, and then they suddenly said, "We are no more in the picture. You go and jump into the dirtiest pool. I don't care." That's the attitude they took, and so many had problems. But unfortunately, it diverted the attention of the banking people to doing some simple things like accounting, etc., on a computer, rather than getting into transactions. So that happened with the push from the Reserve Bank. The Reserve Bank said you have to get into it. So from 2000 to 2015 or 18, I was with the IT advisor of most of the country. I was running with them because of this problem. They all didn't know what to do, how to go about it. It's because there are a number of issues. First thing is you want to automate. So all the banks tried to look for a core banking solution, and they were not happy with the core banking because it doesn't meet their requirements. So then I think it so happened, Infosys came with the first core banking solution called Pinnacle, and TCS came with a solution called Bank 24/7. The unfortunate thing was then there was a company called Citl, set up by Citibank in Bangalore. It had 2 branches which built core banking. And then there were others also who built core banking. But the unfortunate thing was banks were not ready to get into it. They were pretty worried about it. They were not, and second thing is, it did not meet their requirements. So I started interacting with the State Bank, and State Bank was to me a fairly easy task. So the thing was, there is nobody in the country who can give a core bank solution to State Bank except TCS. Infosys cannot meet the 10,000 plus branches. Okay, Infosys capacity was pretty low. So it was easy for them. There was no selection process. It's very straightforward. So they were the only ones who were shortlisted, and then they went on until they built everything, and then it became operational. We did a performance studies, everything was done, and then I came to Indian Bank. The Indian Bank case, my problem was not outside. My problem was inside. Their entire computer division was against core banking. So that's where I have to start. The so-called DTM, the second in command in that place, was against core banking. He says branch automation is fine. They didn't realize what kind of things you will get. And I said, when I gave this example of my University of Manchester experience and Bangkok experience, they still were not convinced. Then we did a clever trick. We recruited 20 people. So I said, okay, these guys will handle the bank. So some of the seniors were all left out of that, of selections. Then they said, it will not meet our requirements. I said, okay, list all the functions. Then tell me, which is, you ask the companies to give us an answer to the functions. A, it is available in my core banking software. B, it is customizable. C, it is not possible, it will take a lot of it. So you, before that, you divide your functions into 3 groups. These functions are essential. These are desirable. These are okay, we can live with them. Okay, with it or without it, we can live. So that's the situation with which we wrote the RFP. It took us about a couple of months to write the RFP. Then we floated it. Then the discussions came. At that time, I'm not talking about managed services. No, I'll not, was not done in Indian Bank case. So multiple models we have. That's what I want to talk about, the multiple models, which I got involved with in several banks. Okay, each bank model is different. Okay, that's the situation. So we ordered, we got the software. We did three, 4 people who quoted for software. Finally, we decided on TCS because that was the lowest cost. Because we believe in not in quality but L1. That's our problem. So that was the L1. And there were a lot of fights in the board meeting. And I attended the board meeting and they convinced all the people. So the order was given. Now it starts the next thing. What do I do with the computers? So we asked for a performance, what we call the stress test. So the stress test reports are given by TCS. Then on the basis of which we decided on the servers. Okay. Then we decided on the network. We went BSNL and BSNL gave us a good network. Then we decided on the data centers and database, all kinds of things. I don't want to get into the details. Then I found that the operationalization starts. How do I have a data center, I have a DR center, primary and DR. How do I synchronize? Okay, for several years it didn't happen in many banks. So that is a kind of, so business also has to go hand in hand. In the case of State Bank, I'll let you in on a secret. If you find some money which has come in, you don't know the source, you don't know to whom it is going, you put it in a miscellaneous. This miscellaneous account is the biggest fraud. Because you can't get it back. It's a big thing. You can't get it back from that. I told the Indian Bank from day one, this miscellaneous account by the end of the day close it. Decide settle. What was this possible closing? No, carry. In the case of the State Bank, it was crores of rupees. It grew it crores of rupees. Maybe it was good business. State Bank. Yeah. Okay, but it was bad business for the customers. Okay, so that's the thing. Then the Indian Bank thing came up, and then we put all the branches, everything for that. By and large, we did it with the in-house. That's an in-house model. But we gave the operationalization and changes in the software, core banking software to TCS. Because every day, see, banking, as I told you, is every day the procedures change. Every day RBI comes with new conditions, new kinds of things, etc. So the agility, I think that's a key word today, agile software. So agility was, we built it. So we put that responsibility on TCS to do the job. Okay, so they did that job. And then later on, we moved to various other things. One of the first things I did was financial inclusion. Okay, the financial inclusion I did it in corporation bank first, not in state bank. Then I did it in PNB, I did it in then Indian Bank and several other banks. For Integra Microsystems is the one which was one of the, which is still the leader in that case. And I built a device called IMPAS. Okay, and that took care of it. Actually, Ragarajan asked whether it was imported. Okay, we could build this device and then do it. It was nice. But let me come to the core banking itself before I move towards other things. In core banking itself, we have multiple models. As I said, if I take IOB, Indian Overseas Bank, they built their software themselves, but it was not very effective. So after some time, what happens in the case of all companies is people leave. you can't get a large number of IT guys inside the company, inside the bank, and then run the show. It is not possible. It has been found impossible in all the cases. Even IOP, after some time, they found all the designers have vanished. So how do I change it? This way? So I hope we got into a lot of trouble. Then the other side was we went to the outsourced model with PNB. So we gave the whole thing. PNB again is not fully outsourced. The half outsourced was given to Infosys. Infosys was responsible for Pinnacle. The others were given to the other agencies. Like SCL Comnet was there at that time. So that was doing our networking and other activities. So even the outsourced model, which came up at that point in time, there are three kinds of models sub-models which exist in outsourced model. One is total outsourcing, which means you don't take any responsibility. But if there's a mistake, you are responsible. You have to remember that. The business is responsible. So that's what really happened at that point in time. And fortunately, none of the banks, none of the industries in India went for total outsourcing. Abroad, maybe quite a few went for total outsourcing, but in India, nobody did that. And the thing was, everybody went for piecemeal outsourcing. It has been working well, I should say. Quite a lot of these things. Then came this question of should I own the computers? Should I own the infrastructure? TCS and SBI started a company. And then TCS itself came up with you don't own the model. We will own the infrastructure. You pay us every branch monthly so much money. That's it. For you pay for memory, you pay system high charges, and you pay for the transaction. So that worked for instance, many of these the Grameen banks and the secondary banks. This model was useful because they can't upfront put a large capital. So that worked for many of those companies. So many of them went through that process. Citi was also one of the things which did a lot of work in that. They also got a lot of money through that process. So there was that's the other kind of business of don't own anything. That's the second kind of another model which was there, which is still working. Then the advantage was you can move to cloud. When the cloud came in, those who didn't own anything, they moved to cloud immediately. The others who have got machines, etc., they have to take time to move. So that is one of the reasons why most of the banks in India have not moved to cloud. Even though it is one of the wisest decisions to move to cloud, they haven't done that. Because the reason is simple. The cloud, it has got a lot of consolidation. All the headaches of running the cloud is not yours. You run business. We run the technology. That's the idea. And second thing is, which is the ideal location for a data center? Ideal location for a data center is Antarctica or Arctic. Maybe Himalayas in the case of close to Everest. Yeah, or Kanchenjunga. Everest is not ours. Kanchenjunga. So the reason is it reduces the power cost. That's all. You don't need AC. So it reduces the power cost. Cooling is easier, etc. So the location is very important. I can't put unfortunately, a lot of data centers are in Bombay, and quite a few were there in Madras also, and Bombay, Delhi. So these were all power guzzlers. So a cloud can choose a location. That was a big advantage for the cloud. So the cloud came in, that was useful for them. Then we grew security along. Security became a major issue in fact, even today. It is not gone. The phishing, everything is coming. Phishing, all that coming in because of that. A lot of people suffer because of this. lot of these problems. And with apps in your mobile, it is destroying all of us. Okay? Because apps send several information out, you don't know what is going out of your phone. And you are all blissfully ignorant of that. We are all, I should say, you are all. So that's what happened. Then the thing is, we got into net banking, we got into the various other things, including the mobile banking. So the technology change absorptions, new technology absorption became very easy. See, for instance, today you want to move to blockchain, you can move to blockchain. That's pretty easy. And you want to move to AI. If I want to invest, for instance, CRM is, if I take the CRM, build an AI on that. Already quite a lot of banks have got a chatbot. Okay, but if I want to move to change the CRM totally with AI, I can do that. So that's a big advantage because you don't invest much. So it is somebody else who does the job. So that's a great thing. Actually, for instance, if you see the last 10 years plus, major business of KCS is two areas. One is digital. They digitalized almost all the companies, which became a separate thing, not the managed service. Digital is another one. Then the next was the AI one. They had a AI called Ignio, and they used the Ignio model for a lot of companies. More than 150 companies use the Ignio. Okay. Then they also moved into cloud as a service. They had a cloud called IAM, and something like 500,000 companies got into IAM in India. And the funny thing was, IAM got a business which IAM did not anticipate, which is all examinations. See, somebody made a statement that our population is 1 million. 500,000 are writing exams at any point in time. And if you take number who write in a year, it's 500,000. 500 billion. 500 billion. Sure. So that was the kind of thing which was happening. So that's our problem. So I am not that. That's a huge business, whether it is the CET, whether it is some of the IITs and some of the colleges exams, etc. It gave a trust. That's the biggest advantage of the trust, which is the business trust, which gave it. So that was very useful that part. Then we moved into the new area called fintech. When fintech came, it heralded a different approach. Until now, business was dominant. Technology was supporting. From fintech, technology became dominant, business became. And the best case is e-commerce. If you see e-commerce has a business has no role in e-commerce. Almost you can say. It's only connectivity. You connect to the business, like you connect to the restaurants, you connect to the various shops, various warehouses, and so on and so forth. E-commerce totally changed our thinking of business. You should realize that we are able to reach something like 2 million, 10 million, 20 million people. It's not small. Today, I think the biggest country in e-commerce is India, not US. And in fintech, UPI, even a chaiwala, even a flower vendor or vegetable vendor, everybody uses UPI and GPay or Paytm or whatever it is. So remarkable change that happened because of the government side. The entire UPI was done by government. The banks were paying a lot of money for credit cards. Master and Visa took away all our money. With UPI, they are trying. They are losing business. We are getting the business. So UPI has really transformed the whole thing. Today, it's very surprising. When I was in US, I can use UPI. Okay, I paid all my bills through UPI. Because net banking wants OTP. Okay, so PA doesn't open up OTP. That's a big advantage. Actually, we created the OTP industry in the country. So, fintech has, and the ONDC is something very remarkable. The DPI and ONDC are very remarkable piece of facilitators for small businesses, not big ones. Small businesses, they are going to be extremely helpful. So, then you know that how we handle the COVID vaccination. A lot of people were reached, village people also reached and got the vaccination. So digital became, got into the hands of everybody because of the mobile. That revolution is what it is. So primarily today I think technology and digital and business are equal partners today. That's what is really happening. What I look next 5-10 years is AI. It's going to be the AI era. And the AI era is going to be a tsunami. I think we are going to lose millions of jobs. That's one side of the coin. But we are going to gain a lot. Okay. What I feel is people are still struggling about the use of AI. They're not clear. They use it for all stupid things. The only use AI has been put in is chatbots. They're not the extent. Your Elisas, your various things, they're all built in instant chatbots. Is what it is being used by almost all the companies. But I find that operational support, operational automation, AI will do better. AI, robotics, drones will take over the complete operation and errors will be made. Like, how do I operate a nuclear power plant? I want minimum, no error, no tolerance, no error. There is zero tolerance, no error. So there are a number of cases like that. So AI will help us in all of those. And AI needs, again, like this global models which we talked about, AI needs a different model. So you will see that next 5 years, we will again go through another model with AI. So that's what I am saying. So there is a lot of hope for business. There is a lot of hope for it. So there is no point in saying, I don't want technology. There is no point in saying, I don't want business. Okay, both have to survive. Because technology won't exist at all if business is not there. You know, it is business which takes the technology to people, not technology. Technology can't go to the people. It is a business which has taken it to the people. So in that sense, we all have a good, nice time. So we are not in bad shape. Okay, we will still be working. We will still be doing a lot of things. We will still be involved in many things. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to get about. So best future for Allah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful talk. That with all the reality made us a story and put across. May I now request our Dean, Dr. Subhashini Natarajan, to offer the closing remarks.
Good evening to you all. Professor Vice Chancellor should be making this closing remarks as he's leading the meeting. Let me try doing a justice to the 2-day annual International Research Conference. I'm sure that all the delegates, all the session chairs would have enjoyed the entire 2-day session more than what we did in putting this across. When the conference started, the keynote speaker made us think that ESG is not what we think about. There is a definite drift between E, S, and G. He actually told us to think about the micros that actually move, the micros that have an impact on the macros. To be very clear, he said environment and profitability are two different zones. Bringing them together may not be the right thing to do right at this stage. He also spoke about the GDP, and he said business growth and GDP could be a reflection, but then what drives the business growth need to be seen or researched to its detail. Superfluous understanding of data for a trend could be very dangerous. He also prompted us to go through the newspaper regularly, understand the entire economics in detail, so that we can understand what business is all about. From there, we moved on to the first draft, where we had very critical papers being reviewed. Some papers were talking about cyber frauds, some papers about cyber security awareness, a comparative paper on US and Indian ESG funds. There was a paper that spoke about E-rupee among the Indian users. A paper that spoke about or that researched about the sustainable development in lower income group. Very interesting papers on MSME and wealth management. A paper on agricultural sector that spoke about sustainable growth. A very interesting paper that evaluated the sustainable urban transport in India, taking Bangalore as a case study. AI in research engines, a paper on Gen Z business, what is ethical, what is not ethical, a paper on blockchain, crowdfunding, prevention is better than cure, relevance of AI in M-Health in India is very new, but then a sustaining one. Then we started moving on towards education sector, addressing inequities, using technology to address inequities, etc. So it was a complete or a thorough understanding on what is sustainable, how should we approach it, what is actually business growth, etc. Today we are here where a rich base of knowledge is being shared by Professor. He very clearly stated that business and technology are completely inseparable. His talk was based on how the technology evolved over a period of time, starting from 1971, if I'm right, when IBM started developing the payroll models. He used the case study of TCS to clearly tell us how TCS came up with global service model, how it evolved, how the banking sector adopted it. Where are we today? We are today talking about fintech. Tomorrow, in the next 5 years, we will be adopting AI, evolving from the the global service model onto a different model, which we are preparing ourselves. It was a wonderful conference. For the first edition, I think we have got about 55 papers, out of which 30 were curated for presentation. It was a hybrid mode, online and offline presentations were there. Many delegates visited us yesterday, and some of them are here today too. So, with that note, I would like to wrap this particular conference saying thanks to everybody who were instrumental in conceiving this idea, taking this forward, forming committees, working committees, and then executing it to the finest details. As we are fast approaching to the closure of the valedictory part of the announcement of the winners, my special appreciation to all the professors, the student volunteers of School of Business. You all definitely deserve a round of applause. Uh, Emphasize that we have brought a table of knowledge that can be furthered tomorrow to the next edition. I'm thinking about AI would be the driving force or would be the underlying concept for us the next conference. Edition 2, we may probably focus on AI and business, yeah. And then start the call
I
for
would
papers.
humans and.
Okay.
Any
Okay,
person introduction.
so that's wonderful. We have
You have to humanize.
So we have a theme for the next edition, human and business with AI. The next conveners, the next set of conveners will probably give me a thought. And School of Business will come up with very wonderful edition, which will have the opportunity for the researchers to publish in Scopus index journals and ensure that we will have many publishers who would be accepting our papers. Thank you so much. I think we will move on to the next section.
Thank you, ma'am. It is time for yes.
I also wanted to use different papers from the students that were written lot of importance. So that a lot of students are so better.
I think they should do.
Yes, it is time now for the prize announcements. I request our Dean, Dr. Shubhashri Natarajan, to announce the winners. Later followed by the certificate distribution that are announced later. Now, ma'am will announce the names of the winners.
Okay, the first category is the faculty category. The first prize goes to the marketing track, Mr. Venkatesh R. Vetigari. The paper title is Case Study on Relationship Between Teaching Excellence and Health Issues in Leading Private Schools. The second prize goes to Dr. Geetanjali Diwali. The title of the paper is Ultimate Model for Forecasting Private Final Consumption Expenditure in India. This comes from the Accounting, Finance and Economics track. Do we have the professor? The research scholars category, the first prize goes to Mr. Shilpa Badrinath Pitti. The title is Occupational Well-being Among School Teachers, examining the role of psychological capital and coping strategies as mediators and moderators. This comes from the marketing track. Marketing, entrepreneurship and HR track. The second prize goes to current team. Classical models, performance and feature selections across different database sizes, healthcare data, information management, analytics, strategy, and others. I will go through this title again because I'm the title formation. I'm not very comfortable with. I need to look at that. When it comes to the students category, offline, first prize goes to Mr. Mohammed Hussain and Sachin. Their title is The Differential Impact of Macros and Micro Social Media Influences on Consumers, Gen Z Buying Decisions. Very congratulations. The second prize goes to Kanika Shetty and Ravi Kiran. The title of the paper is Prevention is Better Than Cure. Many congratulations.
Now I wish to request our chief guest to distribute the certificates.
You can stand. Oh, it's here.
It is, okay.
Okay.
I'll follow you again.
Yeah. Mr. Venkatesh R. Valedictory, online. Okay, so you can just show the certificate. The prize winners, there is also a cash prize which will be sent to you. Probably will take your account details. The second one is Dr. Geetanjali Devani. Mr. Sachin R. First prize in students category. Co-author is Mohammed Hussain from PA.
That's it.
So the second prize in the students category is Kanika Shetty, co-author by Creative.
All the best.
The research scholars category. The first prize winner is Shilpa Badrinath. Are you there? Online. Kanan T. Again joining us online. Second prize goes to Kanan.
I request our dean, Dr. Shubhashri Natarajan, to give out the certificates for others. Conference co-chairs, conference committee members. Okay. Paper presenters would follow us.
So you be seated. We will take a photograph from behind. So we will just.
We can move there.
No, sir, no, sir, we all, you can one near them, yeah. Please be seated, please be seated. Mr. Siddharth. Chinmay. Pallavi. Kanika Shetty. Ravi Kiran.
Now I announce, I request you to hand it over to the conference co-chair.
Professor Ravi Kumar. It has been a big support. Professor Kanish. Okay. Professor Nitin. Professor Ina. Professor Vidya. Professor Priyanka Suresh.
And sorry to leave out convener and the co-convener.
I'm the dean also.
And the dean too. And I request Dean to give certificate to herself. Yes, yes. Convener, Dr. Mohit Mata. Co-convener of the conference, Dr. Jyoti Vidhani. And all the members of the conference core committee will get the certificates later, not right now. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. After 2 days of enlightening and thought-provoking research presentations under various tracks, we have reached the concluding moment. All things, how much ever good they are, come to an end. So does this event, the Annual International Research Conference 2024. I make way for the conference convener, Dr. Mohit Pathak, to offer the vote of thanks. Sir, please, it's over to you.
A very good evening to our guest Dr. D.K. Subramanian, researchers, participants, Dean School of Business, Associate Dean School of Business, and faculty members. Over the past 2 days, we have been privileged to witness more than 30 paper presentations spanning various disciplines including accounting, finance, economics, information management, analytics, and strategy from all across the nation. Notably, our presenters range from faculty and industry experts to aspiring research scholars and students pursuing undergraduate and postgraduate degree. As we conclude this enlightening conference, I extend my sincere gratitude to all who have contributed to its success. First and foremost, I express appreciation to the top management of RV institution, our Honorable Vice Chancellor and our Supportive Registrar for their unwavering support. I extend heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. N.R. Bhanumurthy, Vice Chancellor of B.R. Ambedkar School of Economics University, who delivered the keynote address on day one, providing us with the insightful perspective on current business and academic landscape and guiding our research focus. I also extend gratitude to our valedictory speaker, Dr. D.K. Subramanian, former Dean and Professor of Indian Institute of Science, for sharing profound insight into the transformative impact of IT on our world. A special acknowledgement goes to our session chair, Dr. V. Gopal, Professor IIM Trichy, Dr. Ankit, Associate Professor, Northwest University, South Africa, Dr. R. Venkatesh Kumar, Professor at Pondicherry University, for chairing the sessions. I extend warm appreciation to our sponsor, ISDC, and our knowledge partner, DPU Thailand. Your contribution have enabled us to create a platform for meaningful dialogue and collaboration. I extend my sincerest gratitude to Dr. Subhashri Natarajan, Dean School of Business. Your belief in our abilities has fueled our dedication to this significant event. I'm grateful for your trust and support, ma'am. Dr. Arun Kumar, Associate Dean of School of Business, your guidance has been invaluable in our journey to success. A special mention goes to Dr. Diganta Chakrabarti, Dean of Academic Affairs. His unwavering support and guidance was also instrumental. I would also like to express my gratitude to the School of Business faculty members who have attended several committees and have also enabled smooth conduct of the conference. thank you for your tireless effort in planning and executing this conference. Your vision, creativity, and your commitment have been a driving force behind success. Heartfelt thank to our diligent student volunteers. They manage the invocation of the inaugural ceremony, communication, hospitality, registration, and photography with utmost dedication. To the executives of School of Business, Mr. Sunil and Mr. Triveni, their support and coordination are deeply appreciated. A special acknowledgement goes to the Marketing and Communication Department led by Ms. Neha Goenka and her team members Mahadev Swami, Chandan, Aniket for their patience and their support. To the Deputy Director Administration and the Facility Manager for providing all the logistic support. To the IT Department for their technical assistance. To the members of Housekeeping Department for their invaluable support. To Mr. Santosh from Mingos for providing timely food and beverages. To Head Program Office, Mr. Srinivas Reddy for his invaluable support. To the Vice Chancellor Office, Ms. Bhavya, Ms. Akla, and Mr. Manoj for their future help. To our attendees, thank you for your active participation, engaging discussion, and enthusiastic presence throughout the conference. Your curiosity and eagerness to learn have truly enriched our experience. Last but not least, I am thankful to Dr. Jyoti Gidani, Assistant Professor and co-convener of this conference. I truly appreciate the opportunity to work alongside someone as capable, as committed as you. Thank you for your support and dedication throughout the conference. Last thing. As we depart, let's carry forward the knowledge, connection, and inspiration gained from this conference. Let us continue to collaborate, innovate, and strive towards a better future together. Let's meet in the second edition of Annual International Research Conference 2025. Till then, keep spreading the good words about RV University.
Conference co-convener, Dr. Jyoti Vidhani has decided to share her thoughts. For a few minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Neha, ma'am. It is my honor to be a part of first edition of Annual International Research Conference. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Mohit Pathak for taking the lead in organizing this conference. As a co-convener, I find myself extremely fortunate to work alongside Professor Mohit, whose vision and attention to the details ensured this smooth flow of this conference. I profoundly thank Dr. Mohit for all his efforts and support in successful conclusion for this conference.
Well, there is an arrangement for high tea at the basement admin block. I request all to utilize this opportunity to connect and further share your thoughts about these. When over the tea, thank you all. Thanks again. Before we all disperse for high tea, I request let's immortalize these moments by capturing a few photographs with our chief guest. Let's all get into the photo frames with our guest of honor at the admin block steps, the entrance after the tea. For the whole team, SOB are required. Before tea. Fine then, we'll get to the frame first and then we go to the tea. Thanks all. Here, take one from the That's how the event comes to the conclusion. Thanks all.
All the professors, one quick photo, please.
Volunteers can just quickly.
Yeah, volunteers get ready so that you can form a next slide. You're all covered?
You cover? Cover.
The volunteers can come here. Ladies, so some of you can come here. First the professors and then we speak the. Volunteers. Your participants, we are professors. No, participants, participate also. It's my meeting. Come here. Yeah, after that, the photographers should be taken. They're not here.
After I get the photograph, let's.
One for, one for. Sagar, come.
Wait.
Sagar, come in. 5 million.
One informal, please. Whichever course. This one?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody. Thank you. The girls,
Put it on a timer.
Chandraman, maybe you can use timer. Set up ready, please come here.
Your name was there as a photographer. So you need to take probability. We never, we just keep the body in the photo, take the photos. The